How's it going? How's it going? It's pretty nice out here in the forest. It's going not too bad here. Just thought I'd do a video about stress. Stress. What can we say about stress? Because it's such a big topic on the planet, and so many people are stressed, you know? The workload humans are having, stress at work, the pressures, the demands of the normal world. I'm sure you know the score, you know. But there was a couple of things I wanted to sort of pick up on, which was that, for one, it's to do with the way we eat to numb out stress. You know, to deal with stress, and the way we consume and buy, and the fact that I really strongly feel that the Illuminati bloodlines. I'm still stressed at the moment, by the way, so I've decided to actually do this while I'm still stressed. So I'm going to sort of pause it in a bit and carry on. What is stress? You know, like it's like anxiety in the system. You know, it's a build-up of, because we've been driving all day and it's been really full on. You know. But what I wanted to say was, like, the Illuminati bloodlines, I feel like they understand, you know, the ones who drive us to consumerism, you know, they understand that in order to get people to buy things, for one, they need to be dependent, they need to be, you know, to have these traumas and these needs and these desires come from a deep-seated disconnection from life, you know, so that's for one. The second thing is that I really think that stress is a big factor, you know, in the consumerism. And the more at balance, the more at peace we become, the less we'll need that. And I really think it's about not rushing. You know, it's about learning to just slow down and calm the system down. You know. But, like, I mean, we've not even done much today, but it's good for me to talk about it because I can get the stress out, and I think that's the thing, we need to be able to externalise, you know, how we feel about things. And so much of the world is about, you know, keep it in, don't share anything, you know. And we need to be able to acknowledge what's real, you know, what's real, because sometimes, okay, you acknowledge that you're stressed, that you feel stressed, it goes away, you know, because you acknowledge it and you do something about it. It's when we're suppressing, it's when we're denying that these things become an issue, they build up, and then we're having to smoke weed, or we're having to, you know, do whatever to suppress it down, you know. I won't say who it was, but I once knew someone who I was close to, and when we went to a music gig, this person was feeling very, very extremely anxious, you know. I didn't know that at the time, but I was feeling extremely anxious, but I was very linked with this person, and I said to her, "Are you feeling really stressed?" And she said to me, "Yeah, actually, it's like the worst I've had it for ages," you know. Instantly, that moment, it was like, boom, the stress energy just left, and went back to her again, you know. But when I felt into her energy body, into her system, there was a layer of anxiety, and then a layer of cannabis, and a layer of anxiety, a layer of cannabis, a layer of anxiety. I could feel it going all the way up. And what this was like, for days, for months or weeks, for years maybe, suppressed stress response. And so all this layers of stress energy were being trapped in the body underneath, and the weed was being used to be in a space outside of the stress. The cannabis was being used to be able to stay outside of it, you know. Now, you know, the people who have traumas and have had difficult life experiences, they've had an experience where their nervous system, where their body has been overwhelmed by stress to such a degree that in the normal world, on a daily basis, they find it hard to deal with it, you know. For me, I'm doing pretty good these days, you know, but today's been really stressful, and the driving, and then we've had like 3 days of like not very good sleep, you know. And the reason I wanted to say is because you can get into a loop with it, where it's like, because you've been stressed and you didn't look after yourself, you become tired, the next day you're tired, and then you make silly choices which stress you out even further, and then so you can easily get down a spiral. And what happens in that spiral is as you go down it, and then you're suppressing, and say you're working in London and you're consuming all this stuff, you're numbing the system out so much that it gets to a point where you don't realise that you just need to stop, because you're so numb to the stress. The stress is actually a good thing, because stress is telling us that we need to take notice of this right now. We need to take notice of this, actually do something about it, and stop and rest and whatever it is that we need to do to lessen the stress. But we go about lessening it in the wrong way, so we stay in jobs which are very unhealthy. Some people do. So we can sort of kid ourselves that we're not stressed, and go into this little denial place, where we believe that we're not in that state, and then we don't have to listen to the signals which our nervous system and our body's telling us, And so what I wanted to say was that if we can try and go back to connecting within and feeling what's truly going on in there, we can use it as a guide to say what circumstances are right for us and what aren't, And for us recently, we did some fasting, and Katie will say something about this later in a bit. We did some fasting, and we became very aware of what we actually felt, and from that space we made wise choices. So it's quite deep and powerful what you can do with fasting, because you become more sensitized, and when you're more sensitized you realise what stresses you, but also what makes you feel excited and what lifts you up, what lifts you up. So I think I'll just sort of pause it there and then come back to this topic in a minute when I'm a little bit less stressed, but I'm starting to calm down now. I've got into nature. Obviously this is a great place to de-stress, the energy of nature, which is just goes far beyond what we can understand. And the deep breathing is such a key, to de-stressing, because it's about having the energy flow. When we get stressed, I feel like pockets of energy get pocketed, they get stuck, And this is why sometimes we need a run or some exercise to de-stress, or sometimes we need to relax, depending on what body is saying, So I guess what I'm saying as well is the danger of becoming so dissociated and numbed out as a species is that we don't hear those calls, we don't hear the calls of what our spirit is saying, of what it's saying we need to do to become more powerful, to transcend, to evolve to the next phase. And we can't always do that by forging on tough. Got to go fast, got to do loads, Because sometimes that anxiety, that stress that we feel makes us feel like we've got to do everything. We've got to get it all done now. And really, the state, obviously, which this beautiful paradise is living in, is what it's saying. It's saying what is there to be stressed about, Just take it easy, slow down. This is the message at the moment, This is the message. And quite funnily, look what I'm seeing right then. Here he is. Beetle, who's actually was just eating a mouse, but there you go. Didn't want to show that, it's a bit yucky. Part of everyday life in the forest. So, I really feel that this topic is very, very important, because the age we are living in is a stressful age, It's high high energy, high, you know, energy drinks. Keep yourself going. Keep on, you know, living through stuff which is very stressful, you know, which is very overwhelming for the system over prolonged periods for many people. So this is really a way forward to healing, and I think the whole thing of chronic fatigue syndrome and those sort of things, you know, it's all linked in with this. Anyway, I'm just going to have a quick break and then I'll come back with more, hopefully, a more balanced state. But I'm starting to feel, thank you. And this is why we need the forest. Thank you, forest, you're beautiful. This is why we need the forest, because it balances and relaxes us. And the societies we're living in are noise and just crazy shit that doesn't, you know, it doesn't help that. Okay. Another interesting thought for me about all this has been about creativity, because I've found that when I'm less stressed, creativity flourishes, you know. And a very interesting point for me has been that a lot of creative people find it's good at night, you know. And I was just wondering, there'll be other reasons for this, but maybe a part of that reason is that we feel more relaxed at night, you know. Society is calmed down. The work of the day has calmed down. There's an aeroplane above right now, and even just that noise, because I've been overwhelmed today, it's a little bit distracting, you know, so I always try and, you know, lower my stimulation. But so maybe, you know, maybe that's what's actually going on with that, and I'm sure it contributes, because, you know, to have that creative energy, you need to be in a space in which there is a certain element of stillness, you know, to get that. Of course, it's different for when you're actually playing music, but when you are trying to open yourself up to what possibility there is, whether you're going to do some art or... Anyway, you know what I'm saying, so that was a really interesting thing. And also, I just wanted to say also that I feel that the controlling energies on the planet, which I talk about in many videos, they know that anxiety and stress helps feed the parasitic system, which is, we're talking about the parasites in the body again, and the artificial intelligence, and maybe what you call spirit possession, whatever, it's open-ended. So we can really regain balance and protection by staying more relaxed, you know, and having less stress. We can really have extra balance because the spirit returns to the body, you know, the spirit and the truth of who we are returns to the body when we do this. And I truly believe that the spirit is a very gentle, you know, or shall I say the true aspect of us, you know, is a very gentle. We can be tough if we want at times, you know, and we can be tough like a warrior and fight very harsh environments, but in general, you know, we're a very gentle species, you know. That's what I feel. That's not to be confused with weakness, you know, it's a different thing. So I feel like within our world, currently, we are being told we need to attain, we need to accomplish, you know, and there's a certain level of stress that comes with this high demand and pressure. And again, nature is telling us, be still and just slow down. Doesn't mean we don't have to do anything, but slowing down is a real answer. And I think that's may take time as a species for us to get that now. You know, we've done the going fast, we've done the, you know, industrial revolution, we've done pushing on and forging on ahead, you know. But it's like, sometimes the creative solutions come when you slow down. You know, sometimes you go, I can do that better, rather than like really trying really, really hard. You know. Because most of these drives come from a lack of faith and trust in life. Most of them, you know, the hoarding of the possessions, the hoarding of the food, you know. It's not to say it's wrong for anyone to do that. We have our reasons, you know. But in everyday life, the more we can gain that balance and not be trying so hard to get to point A or B, you know, the magic, I'm sure, can happen. I really feel that. I've really felt that. It's the same with music, actually, because I play guitar and sing, you know, and when I've tried to force it, it just doesn't work, you know. And you try to force, you know, in the past a couple of times I tried to force getting myself in the same state again that I'd already been in, you know, or create the same tune, you know, and it's like, you know, it doesn't really work, because the magic comes from that space of letting go, you know. First car. These are the type of places I'd like to live in, you know. No cars, you know. Because you really get this grounded sense of being alive and being here. And now it's been about half an hour being out or something, 20 minutes. I'm starting to feel myself ground, you know, and I'm feeling the life in my feet, you know, I'm feeling more present and more here, which is really, really cool. And it's from that state the mind works better, you know, you can think clearer. It's from that state you make good choices. So maybe there's a couple more subjects I'd like to say to do with stress, a couple more points, sorry. That, what I said before about trauma and certain people who've gone through difficult experiences, I mean, we've all gone through difficult experiences, but, you know, some of us have residue anxiety that's just not been either witnessed or processed through, you know, or understood and let go, you know, whatever way you work with it. And for those of us, like I was saying, like with the food, you know, and the things we do to cope, to numb ourselves out, to cut off from feeling what we feel, which is a natural protection mechanism, especially for children, you know. When things are too overwhelming, we cut off. But the issue is that sometimes when you cut off, you stay within the situations in your life that are causing the struggle, you know. You stay in that bad job, you stay living in that flat with, you know, abuse going on around you and drug taking or whatever. You know, you stay within those difficult situations, which are very damaging, you know. Just thought it's an interesting plant there. Sorry, side quest there. So, you know, you stay within these situations, and like I said, you know, like we need to be able to connect with what our senses are telling us, you know, in that scenario, you know, and that's why anxiety is a good thing. Everything, it's almost like everything is a good thing in the right light, you know. I think that's cool, right, isn't it? You know, because we think of anxiety or stress or, you know, anger as being bad, you know, in the Western world we tend to think, you know, but it's got its place, you know, it's trying to teach us something, you know. When it reaches anger, it's gone a bit far, you know, but stress and anger can be like really, really connected. You know, I get angry when I get stressed, you know, get overly stressed. So there's a real need to understand, you know, what is it that makes us stressed, and really try and limit those, but we can work with what's going on as well, you know. And what I wanted to say about the traumas basically was that, certain experiences we've gone through, we've numbed out, and a lot of people are in denial. I really feel like a lot of people are in denial about it. And of course those triggers come up again, and then people get stressed. I remember when I got stressed in the past and get really pissed off at times. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that many of us experienced things which we couldn't deal with and we didn't want to be real, so we cut them off. And then in the normal day, everyday life, if someone says something that upsets us and it goes in so deep because it already went in deep, because of the trauma. But I'm sure many of you know about trauma already, so I don't need to go on about it too much. But that was one thing. And then the last thing I wanted to say again was about the controlling energies on the planet, because I really feel like they want to keep people in that stress vibration. For one, it's an energy vibration. Stress is not, it doesn't make you feel high, And I really feel like those energies want to keep us in that state, as I say, because it makes us more consumeristic. And I also wanted to say that I don't really see much difference between what you'd call spirit or artificial intelligence and the control that's going on in the high up Illuminati and the control on the planet and the consumerism and all that is very, very linked. It's just a physical manifestation of it, which I've said before in other videos here. I'll try not to get boring here, yeah? Let's see what else I can say about this in a minute. I'll just pause the video a minute. Right, I'll just end up with a little story, right? It's to do with stress. That's the topic. A few years ago, I was with my friend, and we went to a city, and I didn't realise it at the time. He passed me what I thought was just a cigarette, probably, or maybe a joint. I can't remember now. But I thought if it was a joint, it would have been just normal cannabis. This was when I used to still smoke. I've gladly stopped for, I don't know, about 8, 9, 10 years. I don't know how long now. But what he actually passed me was called spice or black mamba, And I started having a panic attack, And of course you're in the middle of the bloody city, and you're having a panic attack, And one friend, this is the point of it, this is the point. One of the friends basically was like, you'll be alright, blah, blah, because he had taken the same thing, and he'd taken a lot of it, And he was like, don't worry about it, because he was in an altered state where it's just like, it's all good, man, so it's like, he couldn't be there with me on what I was feeling and actually help me, right? I feel this is important, this stuff, the moral of this, because my other friend, who was still very aware and clear, who didn't take substances, who generally only smoked cigarettes, could see straight away, and I'm really glad for it, because he could see that I wasn't finding it very easy, and he said, look, I think we need to get somewhere quiet or whatever, and we went round somewhere quiet, and it was very interesting because, for one, the good friend who was looking after me, I saw his spirit, and it was very weird. It's almost like maybe because I had taken something, but it was also because he was helping me, and I could see the spirit and the true sense of him, and I'm very thankful for that moment, and he was able to meet me with my anxiety, he's able to be real and meet me with my anxiety because he was clear, and the moral of this story is that basically somebody needs to be clear. Somebody, on the planet right now, right? Somebody needs to be clear and in tune with what they feel on what they intuit, be sensitive to life. Because if nobody is sensitive, if everyone is going around always numbed out, always on this pharmaceutical, always whatever, and it's not to judge them, it's just that, somebody needs to not be on it, somebody needs to be right here, I'm trying. I'm trying to be here. Because if somebody is here and present, it means that that person can attend to any situation much easier and be with it. And this is the point, this is the gift in being able to heal. This is the gift in being able to sit with trauma, to sit with difficult emotions, with anger, with whatever, and be able to look at them with a compassionate eye, to be able to accept that person's feeling that without having to go, I kind of don't like this, let's either go away from that person or let's talk about something different, keep changing the subject, I'm aware of this in my childhood. People around me, while I was suffering, had to, because they couldn't go near their suffering, they had to keep switching me off, so I couldn't complete my cycles and heal, because they couldn't complete their cycles and heal. So as a child I was learning, well, I need to be quiet and shut up and not express how I feel, because that makes these people feel uncomfortable, But in reality, I should have been able to express what I felt, because it would have helped them on their evolutionary path move forward, So I think that's a good way to end the video on that sort of thing, because I feel like that's what's going on the planet, We need people who are sensitive to life, so that they can, with a level head, a level heart, because the thing is people who are more real and more connected to what they feel, rather than people who are connected to what they feel but numbed out and taking drugs and and all the other things that we have to do to cope in the world. Those people who are doing that are prone to emotional roller coasters, to dramas, And there's a difference between being emotional roller coasters and dramas than being clear in your body because you're eating good foods, you're whatever it is that you need to do to stay clear, There's a difference in that, because if you're in that state, you can feel an emotion, watch it rise, and it comes out, and whatever it does, transmutes, and it's gone, you can, and that's the thing, with processes like EFT, I've not really done much of it, but emotional freedom technique, which is quite good, with the tapping that you do, you acknowledge emotion, and it's almost like it's gone, because you've acknowledged it, and that's the point. While we're pushing away, while we're pushing things away, it builds up, like I was saying before about the lady who had cannabis in the system, the cannabis anxiety, and all needs really doing is taking away the substances gently, which we're using, or managing them better rather than being an addict, and being able to feel those feelings, So, to sum all this up, I think I just want to say that I've understood in my life that I still have residual anxiety, and I find life stressful because my system still has residual anxiety. So I can learn to manage it, learn to do things in my life, which, and music's a great thing. Music's a great thing for de-stressing, And I can understand why why people smoke weed, why people drink alcohol, to go into a state that feels nicer. Yeah, I can understand that, I really can understand that, and maybe it's good, but when it gets to the point where it's unhealthy and doesn't feel good, feels crippling, and stifling, like the way I used to smoke. I didn't want to go out anymore, and the way I used to drink, I was depressed, and the whole realm of all to do with spirit attachments and all that plays in with all that, how our spirit begins to leave the body because it feels like we're not going to move forward and evolve to that part of us, so it starts to leave the body. and then that's how other energy comes forward more in us. So we really need to feel like we can move forward in life, you know. Because when we feel like we can move forward, that's what the soul likes, you know. It's the moment we feel like it's hopeless and we can't move forward, the soul parts start to leave, you know, and you know, the damage starts getting done, and then you turn to drink and that, and these other entities give us great ideas, you know, I believe. They give us great ideas of, you know, things that aren't healthy for us, that will mess us up further, you know.